And apparently this trail goes all the way to the St. Jacobs Farmers Market, which, if you don't know about that, it's like the market where I wanted to go today. And my mom said she might go to the market, and I did say, can you get me some apples if you go? Dr. Morse, he's one of my favorites. He got removed off YouTube. He says, what's the most critical thing to heal? Is it juice fasting? Is it water fasting? He says the most important thing is that you want to heal. And that's what I always liked about him. I always thought that Lauren had a higher IQ. Lauren is more technical. Like, Lauren's not going to say something like you should do a dry fast. Dr. Morse, he's very encouraging. Like, he kind of has like a grandfather kind of ranty, like he rants at you. And you could just eat a little bit of applesauce and he'll say, oh, it's a good, you did so good. You feel like he appreciates you. And he says once you know the basics of it, which is you eat fruit to heal, you eat fruit and you drink water, the main point is that you have a desire to, that you'll stick through it. And I feel like he has more of a wisdom approach, because I think that is quite true. And I sometimes wonder, it's probably not that big a deal whether I water fast or eat fruit. I mean, I changed my mind a couple times this morning. I was all gung-ho. I'm not going to this place or that place to get donuts or vegan Lindor chocolates for $12 for 120 grams. No way. I'm going to get fruit. And I was all gung-ho about it. And then, right as soon as I was doing my eyelid tape, what the fuck? Right as soon as I was doing my eyelid tape, I had a sudden change of heart. I was like, I don't want to go here. I had no clue what was even going on. I thought if I change my mind in like 2 minutes, there's no chance that I'm gonna have the discipline to go through, all that. Hello. Can I have some vegan, do you have vegan donuts besides?
These 7 down in the middle are all vegan.
Okay. Do you have any ones without the sprinkles on them? Like just like plain icing?
This one here? OG?
Where's the OG? Yeah, but that has no icing on it?
It does have.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Is there a lot of icing on it, or is it like a glaze?
It's a glaze. It's like thin and clear.
Uh-huh.
So there's not as much as like if you wanted a sprinkle donut, but...
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to do the sprinkle then.
Right.
Can I do 3? Or do you have a special deal if I get like...
We have a deal on 6, but...
Oh, that's too much. So... Okay, so we got some donuts. There's a really good Indian food restaurant here, but it's, well, actually, I'm biting my tongue now. It's actually really expensive, not really good. And, yeah, that's about all. I mean, it's okay. Man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like, I basically have to carry these donuts in my pocket. Okay, let's... these donuts are pissing me off. I wish they had more icing on them. But I have some peach flavored bubbly at home, and that is going to complement these donuts perfectly well. Okay, so we have that. And we have this. Then we're going to eat one on the go. I intentionally wore these perhaps cum-stained track pants today because they have pockets with zippers on them. Now this feels very wasteful, but I don't know what else to do. The sprinkles are not that bad. There are some people who actually like sprinkles. Okay. I'd say that was worth it. Pretty awesome. Microphone. I want to see the dumper on this hairdresser in here. Okay, we got our sweet tooth in. Yesterday we had pad thai. It was pretty good. I think we've had all our cravings out of the way. And now we leave it up to fate whether my mom goes to the St. Jacob's Market to get some apples. Hello, thank you. I was expecting them to go, "Get off the sidewalk, you fucking asshole!" You know, there are people, there was a guy who did that to me once. He was riding a Segway. And I completely got off, and he was on the sidewalk. And I completely went off into the grass for him. And he said, get off the sidewalk, you jerk. And I was like, oh my God. And that was before I even knew I was being gang stalked. Well, I subliminally knew. I had been reacting to it already, but... you know, what a heinous crime, too. And something that stuck with me during my trauma, I was having a traumatic episode this morning. And something that stuck with me was something I heard, what's his name say? Let's see, the horrible dumper, shouldn't have even looked. Gonzalo Lira. He said that basically you could tell people that a square is a circle, and he's not being metaphorical, and they'll believe it if everyone else believes it. And there are real psychological studies that prove this, that you could tell someone something so absurd that it, just like 1984 George Orwell, betrays their very senses. And they'll say, yeah, that's right. You know, the square is actually a circle. And, you know, it's as long as everyone else says that, I believe it too. And so I was thinking, what's the value? Who are these people? You know, there's all these people who are attacking us, and they hate us, and they see us as cattle. as expenditures, as means to their end, as a paycheck. Our lives don't mean anything to them. They're just gonna use us, abuse us, discard us. If we die, if we suffer, they don't care. Their response is, I wish you the worst. I don't feel any pity for you. You're beneath even hating. If I felt anything for you, it would be hate. But I feel nothing for you. You're just a piece of pocket lint. You're less than nothing. And it's like, who are these people? You know, they're the square is a circle people. They're the people who say, you know, anything is anything. They say it's all relative, man. They put on a science coat and they say it's all relative, so nothing means anything. There's no difference between shit and shinola. Okay, so that donut was pretty good. It was actually pretty aerated. I'm gonna give that donut a review. I'm gonna say the sweetness was on point, the icing was on point. I always joke that that place uses no leavener, no yeast. That place is like, let's just make donuts that are hard as a brick. Okay, today that joke did not hold up at that place. That place had some good leavener. So I have got all my cravings out of the way. And do I really want to heal? Well, that's a tricky question. Dr. Robert Morse in my mind is sitting there saying, do you actually want to get better? Ooh, I just farted. Well, I don't know. Obviously, if you're traumatized, what's the point? Because fuck everything. Because when you're traumatized, the attitude is basically, well, fuck everything anyways. Nothing matters anyway. So why would you want to get healthy? You want to feel even more bad? Shouldn't you be numb? You know, shouldn't you try to eat yourself into a food coma over here? Yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say. Am I out of my trauma? No, not really. I'm just medicating with a donut. The one thought that I had before I changed my mind, when I was about to go to the market and get some fruit, was the mindset that you're in right now is actually physiologically different than the mindset that you would have when you're healthy. Like, if you consider it like cooked food is an addiction, which it is, and cooked food is poison, which it is. If it's not poison, then why do white blood cells go to your stomach whenever you eat cooked food? Well, it's because it's poison. Nice dumper on that pig. And medical science will say, we don't know why that happens. White blood cells go wherever there's an injury, except when they go to the stomach after you eat cooked food. We don't know why that happens. And I know from experience too, like going back from eating fruit to eating cooked food, it's a very brutal experience. And a lot of people report that when they're eating raw food, they have a much more positive outlook. They're not worried about things. They have a fundamental understanding or belief that things will work out, and there's no point in worrying. There's no reason to worry. They just have a sort of security. They don't feel pessimistic. They feel more optimistic when they're eating fruit, and they have all the symptoms of basically doing drugs when they're eating cooked food. And it's especially pronounced for people who go months and years eating raw food and then they suddenly go back to eating cooked food. And they find that it's extremely addictive, and they often find that they can't stop. And so coming from that angle, which is experiential to me, it's not just a hypothesis, I can say that when my brain is functioning better, and remember, I have a bit of a small skull. Like, have you seen the circumference of my wrists? You know, I'm small boned. I have a small brain, I think. So I need the fruit. Maybe if you have a huge brain, you can afford to be eating cooked food, and you can afford to be drinking soda, and it's not going to make you retarded or emotionally imbalanced. But I think for someone like me who has a small skull, I think that's logical. That now Steve Jobs had a small skull as well, and you know, I think he was into fruit too. I kind of relate to him in the obsessive factor. I think he was very obsessive, and I'm at least a want to be obsessive. Perhaps I'm not obsessive, but I try to be. In theory, I'm obsessive. I don't like moderation at all. And it seems pointless to try, really. That's how I feel. Now, it might be a success barrier too, because I did get messages from two of my favorite girls. I did also have worries that they were gang stalkers, and I also did have suspicions that the gang stalkers will also place things in your life that correspond with your real friends, so that you don't even have real friends. For example, if you're spray painting your garage green and you're a real TI, the gang stalkers might put an excessive amount of green spray paint near me. They might have cans of green spray paint near me. And then they know that I'm going to be vlogging about it, and they know that you're going to see it. And then you'll see me having some green spray paint, but you never told anyone that you were spray painting your garage green. You just know that I'm suddenly talking about green spray paint and you're spray painting your garage green. And so then that's going to trigger your paranoia, or paranoia is actually an irrational fear. It's going to trigger your actual logical, rational fear that I'm setting you up and that I'm a fake and you can't trust me, and look, there's no one you can trust, so you might as well just blow your brains out. You know, that's kind of the message they're sending. So I know that they do those kind of things too. And then just from the perspective that, what if these girls are real and I really like them? And I'm also a better judge of character now than I've ever been. So these would be like my best relationships yet. The most potential relationships yet. And God, you gotta find something wrong then, don't you? When you're used to just suffering, and did you think that car was gonna turn and hit me? And everything sucks and everyone's your enemy, and then suddenly you're doing well and you're happy? You'd probably have to find something wrong then, wouldn't you? Looks like someone vandalized my watermelons. I mean, does that look like it's done by an animal? My watermelon seeds, my seedlings. That totally sucks. Kind of puts a damper on everything. I had a feeling that would happen, actually. So, put the camera right here. I think it's time to have a little chat. And what we have to chat about is my goals. I'm going to go back onto my goals. These poor watermelon seedlings. Okay, I have the wireless microphone going on right now. And last night something pretty weird happened. It was about 3:30 in the morning, and I hear this loud noise, like a banging noise. Almost like a car door slamming, but not quite that kind of noise, but similar. And there's this guy, he's really muscular, and he's running down our street with a flashlight. And then he changes direction. Before he changes direction, though, I go out the front door and I look out, see what's going on. And he's running then back the opposite direction down the street. And he shines his flashlight at me for just a moment going by. I think, oh, what if he runs at me? He's running really fast. This guy's kind of kooky. I thought, is this a scare tactic from the gang stalkers? Or is this guy actually just some nutso dude? I was a bit afraid to go outside, actually. But I went out and checked on my e-bike. It was still there. And I made a video a few days ago talking about the gang stalking neighbors. I was making fun of them. And I was talking about how the gang stalkers are just really terrible. Just said a lot of shit about them. And then the next day, there was the gang stalking neighbors set off their car alarms. And they were beeping their horns. And some kind of sirens drove by. It was extra gang stalkery. And not sure it got to me. I've been kind of traumatized recently, and that's kind of the point of this video. So it's moving forward even when you're traumatized, because your future self will understand things that your current self can't understand.